So I just did this super long video, and I'm gonna do another one because it was just really long. I don't know if I was repeating myself too much, but I just wanted to make a new one because I don't want it to be as hard to upload. So, but I'm thinking right now about Aaliyah. I'm struggling with my feelings about how Aaliyah's doing, and she's really been miserable. She was really miserable last night. She was blowing her nose a lot, which makes me think she has a cold. And then Adriana seemed stuffy this morning, but they went to school okay. And then I got to therapy with Aaliyah. She was pretty upset. She's in the lobby, trying to bite her arm. Thankfully, she's wearing her jacket, but she's, like pushing her head like up on my shoulder. Like, I just do that because like the tension is so great, It's almost like shaking because she's so tense. And she's biting her arm, and crying, kind of like just upset. And the therapist was trying to be supportive, but I was wishing that she would take Aaliyah back out of the lobby and back to the therapy area. She was supportive, but she wasn't really redirecting. And then the director came out and did a really good job of getting Aaliyah kind of back into a better headspace. But I don't know how that went though. I walked out because I was turning into something that was Aaliyah kept kind of coming back to me to engage in her frustrated behaviors, and she was getting stuck. So I left, and I know they're doing a good job with her, and I felt especially good that the director came over and intervened, and she was doing a really good job with Aaliyah. But I am scared. I am feeling scared because these behaviors start coming back up, and you start seeing them again after not having seen them much for a while, and it starts to feel like, oh no, are we going back to all the bad stuff, all the hard stuff, all the difficult times of the last 3 years? Because it has been a good 3 years now where Aaliyah's been, not that she's never had good times or happy times, but she's had a hard time, and she's been miserable a lot of this time. A lot of screaming, a lot of difficulty sleeping, a lot of frustration, a lot of it feeling like Aaliyah's not even there anymore, feeling like it's something that's taken over her body, which sounds weird, but I mean it literally. Like it doesn't feel like it's her, and it just feels like somebody who's being tortured. And I just, I feel very hopeful when Aaliyah's feeling good, because the last couple months, Aaliyah has been feeling a lot better. And so I feel very hopeful in those times, but then times like these, I start to wonder if all of it's just is just going to go back. And if it's just going to be like everything else that we tried in the past 3 years that seemed promising and then crashed and burned. So that's what I'm struggling with. I'm struggling to not despair, and we've done a lot of testing. We just finished testing with the gastroenterologist, who's a specialist in autism, and we're then going to do our blood test for our neurologist. We're going to do that soon, and gosh, what else? They're gonna compare notes, and hopefully there'll be something positive we can learn. We're on a waiting list of some sort to get an MRI done. When we get the MRI done, we have the woman I knew as a young child who offered to pay for the girls to go to the Amen clinic. where we might learn some good things. But I feel like we've tried so much, and we don't have a ton of ideas left. I do believe Aaliyah has leaky gut issues, and I do believe there's something wrong. There's definitely something wrong in her mind. Well, there's definitely something wrong with both. Yeah, leaky gut and her digestive issues, and there's something wrong in her mind. And unfortunately, traditional medicine at this point does not have much, does not offer a lot of help for the average person. If you're really, really, really bad off in these areas, there's powerful medicines or surgeries. If you're in a situation like ours, or if you don't have blood work that's crazy out of whack, or any powerful medication designed to turn something around, there's not much for you. And to be honest, Aaliyah's had really, really bad responses to medication, regardless. So she's had really bad side effects, and not only has she had bad side effects, but the medicine didn't even do what it was intended to do. So she's tried 2 different seizure meds, and neither of them did what they were intended to do. If anything, they made things worse. And the side effects were horrible. So medicines, supplements have always caused, not always actually, really just in the last few years, have caused worse problems. And but like I said, honestly, there's not a lot of options for many people looking for digestive help and for seizure or problems in your mind. There's mainly just, well, we're gonna do this expensive EEG, and they, the insurance covers it because the insurance covers everything helpful, right? And we're gonna do this expensive EEG, and it sounds very promising, and or we're gonna do a CT scan on your stomach or whatever, and it's gonna show us that you're right. There are abnormalities. Yes, you're right. So, it is what you thought, and all we can really do is what we would do even if we didn't have these images, which is just try a medication out. How about this one? Oh, that didn't work. Well, maybe this one. I can't imagine that these people are going to school for 4 years to do that. I apologize because I know doctors are wonderful. But, we've had very expensive doctors toss trite advice or pills at the problem that have only made things worse. And the images that you're getting just aren't very insightful. And people ask me, this is the first thing everybody asks when Aaliyah's upset, like, oh no, like, what's wrong? What's going on? And I think a lot of parents of kids with autism can point to something specific, like, oh, she, hates these lights, or she hates, she wanted my phone, or she likes the music and the, whatever, and you turned it off, or whatever. It's internal for my kids, and honestly, it's internal for all these kids. Like, we need to figure out how to, internally address these sensory issues, and figure out how to heal these problems, these issues, these challenges. We need to figure out how to help children heal, help adults heal. But anyways, yeah, so they ask, oh, what's wrong? I can't tell you. It's something going on in her mind. It's something going on in her stomach. And she is tormented by it. And she has been off and on for the last 3 years or so, but honestly all of her life, but especially the last 3 years. And, sometimes it looks like seizures. Sometimes it looks like, her stomach is really bloated, or it looks like her head's just not, or, her head's consciousness is almost fading in and out. Or, but doctors can't really tell me what's going on, at least not thus far. And and people say too, oh, if only she could tell you what's wrong, if only she could, if only she could voice her, her mind. And obviously I would love to hear anything my kids have to say. I would love it if they could tell me what they're feeling. But I know, I'm looking at you. I know something's wrong with your mind. I know it's torturing you. I can see that. And I can see when your stomach is not right. I can tell, I can tell that things aren't working the way they're supposed to. But that doesn't, her being able to say that does not give me answers. It does not help me know what I can do to fix things. It still leaves me sitting there helpless, trying to help, but not being able to make the pain go away, and not being able to make whatever it is going on that's driving her crazy inside go away. This is not our first gastroenterologist. This is going to be a better one. This is not our first. This is not our first neurologist. They are not magicians. They do not pull rabbits out of hats. And science has a hell of a long way to go. It's our main organs, right? Our digestive system and our brains. That's how I see it. And they're very limited in what they can do for you in those respects. They're very limited. Naturopath doctors, I think, go much deeper. They have a lot more knowledge about how the body works. Because I see traditional doctors as very intelligent. I love the girls' doctor. I love the girls' pediatrician. But mainly I do feel like, he's very helpful with antibiotics if you need those, if you have an infection. And those come with their own consequences, but they're important. And broken bones and sprains and, they can give great advice, but it's limited, right? And I'm not just talking about, primary care, but the specialists too, like, they're often limited, and they're not able to do testing, I think, sometimes that's really important, or dig deeper into things in a way that's really important. This video is going to end up being just as long, but anyways, I struggle with people asking what's wrong, because I wish it were that simple. I wish I had a simple answer for you. And then I struggle with I wish, if only they could tell you what's wrong, because I'm like, even if she could tell me what I'm seeing with my eyes, even if she could put a voice to those things she's feeling, I cannot make it go away, and I wish I could help. And even when parents do have simple answers, and they are just like, oh, well, what it is they didn't want to, they don't like the lights, or they, that noise bothers them. Even that, I'm like, that's really good to know. But we need to be so concerned about what's going on internally, because we don't want our kids to live like that, where, you know, their environment is so hostile, or it's so, you know, there's something going on inside that's not working right, right? I mean, I just don't think we should ever give up wanting that, wanting calm and healing. I mean, healing for the body and healing for the mind and healing for the stomach. I don't think we should ever give up on that. And it would be tempting to, if my kids, if I knew if I just kept them away from certain sensory triggers, if I knew, oh, they'll be okay as long as they don't do this, 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 and hear this, it would be tempting. But I think we all need to keep searching. And my kids, it's internal. It's internal, and I can't, you know, they love noises, they love sensory, they love crowds, they love music, they love lights. There's something going on in their heads and in their stomachs that is driving them crazy, and it's causing them so much pain. And you know, I'm just hoping to find something. I'm hoping to learn something. I'm hoping to help. I can't imagine never figuring out a way to provide some relief. I can't imagine never figuring this out. And I'm not saying I expect her to be like, you know, always like super calm, like monk-like status where she's walking around, you know, meditating all the time or something. I'm not saying I expect that. It's not my goal. I'm just saying I don't want my kids or any other kids in this kind of situation living with so much torment and living with so much misery. And that's how my children, especially Aaliyah, that's her life. And there's no easy answers. There's just no easy answers. And we've tried a lot. So this video did end up being pretty much as long as the other one, but at least I got all my thoughts out on that and all my feelings out on that. Take a deep breath. I know I keep like sighing and, you know, exhaling loudly, dramatically. But yeah, it felt good to talk, so it's out there.